Hey there friends, welcome back. Got another video for you. This one is a little bit different since it's a kind of a repeat. This is the Headless Horseman once again. This time I've upgraded him completely. Uh, there's a video that I did last year where I talked about like the figure that I made. That figure is way different. You can go back, it's very different. The reason I changed it is not really I guess it was. I wasn't intending to make a new version, but one day I was messing with the armor piece for him and took it off, and then it snapped. Like, it just broke, like, completely, which is really terrible. But it got me thinking, why don't I just remake him? You know, make him better than he was, and that's what I did. And here's the 360 of the Headless Horseman. This is the updated version. This is the one that'll be, like, it'll stay like this. It's not going to be updated again. But yeah, I changed him completely. The only thing that's the same is the pumpkin head. That's the same as the old one. Otherwise, it's just the same, or it's completely different. So he's got new sword, new cape, new printing, and yeah, it's just way better than the other one. Yeah, it's very cool. I love the Headless Horseman. I watched Sleepy Hollow, the Tim Burton film, last year, and I was just so impressed. Like, it's just the perfect Halloween film. Like, if you know, you know. But the Headless Horseman himself is a character. Like, he steals the show. He's like cutting people in half, and it's just so cool. The way that it's shot, and the way that Ray Park plays him, and also Christopher Walken, of course, as the, head of the Horseman. Or yes, pre him dying. So yeah, it's just really cool. I think in the future I'd like to make a custom Christopher Walken head. That'd be cool. But yeah, I was just really impressed with like the visual look of him, and the way that Burton filmed it, and the costume itself. It does a lot of work because he doesn't have a head, so you're just looking at his suit, and the way that he films it is just very cool. So I wanted to emulate that as much as possible. This version is as close as I could possibly get it to the Burton design of the Horseman. So he looks pretty medieval. I tried to give him the medieval kind of Celtic armor feeling, even though in the film it's more like leather. I just thought it looked like armor, so I thought I'd give him, this metal look. And yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But he's got an accessory. In this case, it's the sword that he uses to chop heads off. This is a dark sword, or it's a dark gray sword, or like dark gunmetal gray. That's what they call it. It's a great piece. It's kind of common. Obviously, he either has a sword. In some cases, he actually has an axe, which, in this, I thought about giving him the axe, but he uses the axe a little bit, not that much. So the sword is definitely more iconic, and he's definitely more, I don't know, he's a lot cooler with the sword. It's not a unique piece, but it works for him. I like the dark gray look. I made sure to give him that. I did previously have the light gray sword. I think that's just too bright. It's too, I don't know, it's too light. It's, I don't know, I like the dark sword better. And he does have the pumpkin head. We'll talk about that later. Also, yes, he is a horseman. So yes, there is a horse this time. I made sure that, don't worry, I made sure to buy a horse for him to actually be on this time. So yeah, unlike the last video, I actually have a horse to show. So there you go. I'll show him on the horse at the end. But yeah, the look of him, I tried to get him as dark and as Burton-y as possible. And I love Tim Burton's work. Like, almost all of his films are bangers. Like, they just have this unique look and style and feel that I really love. And Tim Burton is perfect for the Halloween. Like, his movies pretty much are all dark and gothic and macabre and spooky. So it's perfect to have Sleepy Hollow be one of those. even though there's been many versions over the years. But yeah, this is as close as I could get it. The cape is from Lord of the Rings. It's from the Ring Wraiths, or the Nazgul villains. The Ring Guarders, I guess. I think they only came out in like 2 sets. I just have this cape and I thought I'd use it. It makes the... Because the Horseman in the film has like a torn cape with holes in it. And I thought I'd try to match that. It works pretty well. The torso is interesting because this is Kylo Ren's torso. If it will focus and zoom in, jeez. This is Kylo Ren's torso from The Last Jedi, actually, which I don't like that movie. There's some parts I like. I'm not gonna get into it. Um, it's a beautiful movie though, and the costumes are great. And I picked this torso because it looks very similar to the Horseman's like actual. I don't know what he wears. It's almost like a jacket shirt. It's hard to explain, but yeah, it's a really cool design, and this matched really closely to it. It's got the texture of the fabric, and it looks like chainmail, like metal armor, which is what I was going for. It has this metal, jacket feel to it. It's got the belt as well. Pretty spot on, in my opinion. There is back printing. I'm not going to show it here. I'm not going to show it yet, anyway. But the legs are interesting. These are from Nexo Knights. It's from like those red evil minion dudes. Like, I don't know the names of these things. But there's like these little henchmen dudes from Nexo Knights, and they have these like cool like armored legs. And I looked at them and I'm like, that's perfect. So I got them and I put him. It works perfectly with the Horseman because he has these like metal boots on the bottom, and it pretty much looks like it. It got the metal, upper parts, and the I like these like ridges on the belt, and the boots are really cool with the, metal brace, and it got the little bit of the red detail in there, and it's very knight-like, which is what I was going for. And yeah, to me it fits. It fits with the Horseman's look. He has a very cool look, in my opinion. I'm a big fan. I also watched the Disney Sleepy Hollow, which is also amazing. That is a cool design. And in fact, in the future, I might think about making the Disney Horseman at some point, because he's so cool. It's got like this purple cape with the shadow of the horse. It's so awesome. Big fan of that little movie. It's a cool one. Yeah, the design is pretty medieval. I try to get him looking as knight-like as possible. Um, and the hardest part for sure was making the head, like the stump, because he doesn't have a head, right? So how do you do that? Well, I'm gonna show you. This is probably the one part of this whole figure that is like a con, because the cape is really held on by two parts. By this cowboy bandit neckerchief, I guess. That goes over the top like that. And it's only with this one stud with the hole in it. And you put this on top, and boom. And that's the one part of this whole design is this bandit mask piece. It's hard to explain, but this mask piece is not held on. It's not like tightly secure, so it can move around a little bit, and the cape also can because it's not like connected by a head. So it's a little bit loose in that regard. So you can move it a little bit. It's a little bit unfortunate, but it doesn't bother me that much to where it ruins it. It's just something that, you have to deal with. This design, by the way, for this whole head stump, I got it from Brick Queen, so it's not my own idea, but it just works so perfectly, because you think there's going to be a head, and it's just like a stud stump. It's perfect, in my opinion. I just wanted to show the other torsos or the other parts that I used for the previous Horseman, just in case you're curious. I did give him a red cape before. The red cape worked fine, but definitely the torn cape is that's the best look. Even though it's a little bit wide, it just makes him so intimidating. But yeah, let's talk about the last part, which is the head. The head is, well, off of his body. But in the stories, he's known to throw the pumpkin head at Ichabod, or pretty much at anyone. But I tried to make it as creepy as possible, so I got the creepiest pumpkin head I could find. And I also got the... This is interesting. So, this fire piece is one of those minifig fire, like, hand parts. But it's in orange, and it's, like, attached to the top of the head. It's something that you don't see unless you look at it from the back or the side like this. But I thought it just worked perfectly. I haven't seen anyone combine these parts like this. So I thought I'd do that. It makes it look super cool. And the printing on the face for the head is super creepy, which is, I mean, that's part of the legend, right? Trying to get it to look as cool as possible. I was actually going to use this for Jack Skellington, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because this is a lot better use of the part. But yeah, there's printing on the back of the head too. It's fitting a little bit. That's fine. And yeah, I guess I might as well show the back printing. It's really not that special, but I'll show it anyway. It's, you know, it's just more of the same. But yeah, this cape is interesting too, by the way. It's got like 3 holes in it, so you put them like 1, 2, and then 3, if it'll want to, you know, work with me. And yeah, the cape is not 100% attached, but that makes sense. And yeah, that's the Horseman. He looks so much better than the other one. And the fact that nothing is broken is even better. I'm going to show him on the horse now, because why not? That's total... I think he actually looks way cooler on the horse. But it also is going to be hard to show you, because this horse is freaking big compared to the actual Horseman. Like, it's hard to show this thing. But yeah, that's what he looks like. Pretty awesome. Maybe in the future I'll make an Ichabod crane. I don't know. That's gonna be so much work. I really don't want to do that right now. But yeah, breaking the limits of the, you know, actual filming thing. But yeah, he looks great on the horse. I thought about adding fire pieces on the side, but then, I don't know, it kind of doesn't work. It doesn't look as cool, but yeah, the cape goes back. It looks a lot cooler when he's on the horse. But yeah, definitely recommend making them. And especially if you can make it your own. I think I did with the stuff that I did with the, you know, just the torso itself, I think is the most different of any Horseman that I've seen online from people. Yeah, I had a great time making this guy. It was a little bit hard to find all the parts because there's just so many, like, options. There's so many things you can do with this character. But yeah, big fan of this story. I'm actually watching the show right now. It's really cool. Big fan of, like, all these different versions. Of course, I plan to read the story as well, but let me know what you think of the Headless Horseman. Do you like this version better? Do you like the original? Have you made your own? And what do you think of the legend itself? Do you think it could be updated? Do you think he could work as a minifig if LEGO were to actually make one? And also, actually, there is an official LEGO one. There is the one from the Scooby-Doo sets, which I might try to get that one together so I can compare. Because mine's a lot darker. Mine's trying to be the Tim Burton one, but there's obviously that one with the Scooby-Doo sets. Those are so good. Anyway, that's about it. Let me know what you think. If I'm posting this on Halloween, have a happy Halloween. If not, it's October. It's still the season. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.